As easy as 1, 2, 3. All right, maybe not that easy, but today we're going to show you how to wrap the Model Y Juniper's mirror with Satin Black color PPF. This is very much sort of an R&D process. I mean, I think this is our, I don't know which number prototype this is, but what we do, and this is just one of our process, right, is we do design all our parts. So we do start from a scan and then we 2D it and we just test the crap out of it. That's really what we do. And this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like, I make fun of it. It looks like someone holding their, like a bicep like this. So that's what it reminds me of. And big biceps right there. They don't skip arm day. And I think you heard the term PPF, and it's paint protection film. And what has been happening, I think, in the last few years is that color PPF has been really taking over a lot of the field and the industry. And it's great because now you don't have to vinyl and then PPF it. You can actually do it all at once, and you could get, a different color of your car, and you can protect it. And the reason why it's a protective film is that these are TPU based, which does have some self-healing abilities. So what I'm doing is I'm using this soap solution with water, and I've hydrated all of this. This is a really good Satin Black film that we're testing. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just hydrating everything before I put it on the actual surface of the vehicle. I think, the challenge here is basically, how do I get the coverage you need on a color PPF? Because here's the thing, this is very similar to our design on the gloss and matte, but the gloss and matte, you don't have to go over every single edge. So it's a lot easier. You actually go about 2 mil before the edge because it doesn't fail if you do that. So in color PPF, you can't really do that. Because if you were going from silver to black, you're gonna see that it doesn't look good. You have to do a couple things differently, I think. So our design had to be different for this, right? At the bottom, I think you should go right to it, hide all the silver, but it has to go right to it. Because I looked down, I actually took out the cover and looked down. There's just not a lot of surface area because this is a cover, it's not a solid piece, right? Inside, it's just a cover that holds the internals of this mirror. So we're basically lining this up all the way as best as we can. Give it the best coverage that I can. And look how much coverage I have in the side right here. And the reason why it's actually gonna wrap over, right? Because that's gonna be important. And once you have that down, I'm just gonna, oh, nope. I'm gonna use some tack. Gonna realign it because that is awful now. For those of you, again, new, Tack solution is basically water and alcohol. And that actually flushes away the slip solution. When you flush it out, it basically adheres. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and just seal all of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray some of that Tack solution all the way around. The one thing when you do this part, I think, is that you don't wanna drag the film. So all I'm trying to do is just let it escape. So one thing here that is pretty bad is that needs to come down quite a bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rip it back, hydrate it again. Okay, and I think this is the part why I like about it for DIY, is that you can actually redo quite a bit, right? Like vinyl is awesome. I love doing vinyl stuff, but you don't have this kind of flexibility in my opinion. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but we did do a comparison video just recently too, so you can check that out. The reason why you don't want to drag this is if you drag the film, it creates a wavy, and when you're seaming, you don't want a wavy seam, right? I mean, that's just weird. So once I have this completely tacked, I can make sure that all of this is hydrated. And what I've noticed on this is that it creates a lot of slack right here. So you actually need to pull this. You see that right there? Pull this out until you get a nice little coverage right about Right about here is good. Okay, once I have that down, I'm going to go ahead and spray some tack to make sure I help it adhere. I'm just going to pull this. So I'm just focusing on this right now. This little corner, I got a lot of edge right there. And you're probably wondering, oh, that looks awful. Well, we can actually pull this down. You can see right here, I have some room. All right, maybe not a whole lot, but I do have some room right here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I do need to kind of edit this a little bit. So again, not final design. This is still conceptual. So look at that. Again, coverage can be improved right here, but overall I think it's good. All right, so what's happening now is I pulled this because this needs to be tightening up right here because there's a lot of slack. So you want to pull this and you got to make sure you pull from here. I tack this, so I'm using it as an anchor and then pulling that across this right here. Coverage, I know I need to improve it. It's not perfect for the 10th time, but you guys know that. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and tack it all down, although it needs a little bit of work. And, you know, I think what's unique about what our team does is that we really try to come up with a product that we think you can do. Like, as we do this video, it might be a few weeks or months after or before we launch our product, if we do. But I mean, we go through like months, sometimes like months of just testing, basically. So I think that's what's unique and fun. So now that this is done, I already see some feedback. I need to work on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and seam. So maybe go on this side right here. And all I'm trying to do is just start seaming the right here. I'm going to just start from the middle. Look at that seam. I mean, do you even see it? Say seam game strong. All right, so now I can actually start squeegeeing. And what's happening right now, as you see, is there's some tension here. So I think I'm gonna try to actually create the design where you kind of have to stretch it. It'll actually get rid of some of those fingers, right? So right now I'm just gonna try to install it regardless. And I'm shooting all this tack solution. And watch what happens when I shoot tack solution here. So I'm gonna, they call it, when I was first learning PPF, did not know what I was doing. But they said divide and conquer. So you basically, these fingers, when you have it, you don't want a big finger, you actually want to separate all of them, right? And then basically by doing that, it'll go down way easier. That's a really good tip that I still use to this day. So while I'm kind of squeegeeing down, I'm kind of spraying that tack solution even more. And when I do that, you can see that it adheres just a little bit more. See that? I'm actually not going to fold that over because I want that data and I want to make my design edits based on that. Okay, so I mean that went down way smoother than I thought. And then what I'm going to do, just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and open up this window. All right, so I got my mirror right here. Just kind of opens it up. Awesome. So here is, I would say 80% of the install right here. Don't mind this gap. I need to fix that. And there's a couple other things that I already see that I need to fix. But overall, I am pretty happy with, I think, the design elements right here. So let me just show you the seam right here. This is what a seam looks like if it's done pretty well. You can see the seam right here. I overlap right here, and in PPF you do not want to overlap. In vinyl you actually can overlap. I think that's a little bit better because it's thinner too. But the reason why I overlapped it, even though I shouldn't, is because I am making some of those design edits, and I want to know how much, right? Overall, we went from silver to a black mirror in literally just like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, I don't know, but not that long. But let's go to this side. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off auto fold from the car. And then what I can do, let's just move it out a little bit more. All right, so when you fold down edges, right here, this is the body curve right here. You actually want to focus on those areas first. So I'm going to try to bend this over right here. Like so. All right, and this is what I mean. Like in gloss, you just go right to the edge. This one, you have to go all the way. What I like about this PPF too is that it has a pretty quick time period where you could just start folding edges, which is nice. Because a lot of the other PPF, it takes a while, or you have to fully dry it before you can do this. So one thing about colored PPF too is there's a lot of edges, like right here, where it's gonna want to basically hold the bubble on those edges. So you just want to make sure you're watching that as you fold this over. Okay, so I'm just going to go there. All right, we're approaching this little high point right here. I'm going to go ahead and just, actually that one's not bad. So what's happening over here? So what's actually happening right there is there wasn't a lot of stretch from here to there, okay? And because this goes in the curve and it curves this way, the materials are bunching up, right? Because there's no tension. So once you pull it, it typically goes away. So I am probably going to put some sort of an element where you pull, and you'll watch that, you know, and you'll watch the fingers go away right here. I think the key here is provide least amount of variability in our kits. And that is hard. That is a very hard job, but we like challenges. So this is another technique in PPF, and I think a lot of installers do this, is they use a clean microfiber like this, and basically they go over edges, and then they kind of use either their wrap glove even, and then just fold over. So once it's dried, and I'll show you what happens, is you could use a torch, and we do this for a lot of our PPF videos, but when you use a torch, what's actually happening is you're actually burning the memory of the film. These are memory based, so it kind of remembers where it used to be. When you put a high heat butane torch, it deletes that, and it kind of stays and creates a new memory. So like for example here, it's not really working here. I got some fingers right there. You could use a touch of heat. I think I still need to kind of get this out. And you just want to touch. Typically, I would wait until this is fully dried too, by the way. But I'm doing an expedited version because it's for the video. But you can see right here, burn that. And that will most likely stay, right? So let me go ahead and take it back here. Oh, by the way, if you are going to do that, make sure you put it back. There is a little, I guess, like a gear. Sometimes it could mess up, so you want to put it back to where it was. So that's basically how you do the mirror. But you can see right here, perfect. I mean, this coverage is really good. I think I can clean that up a little bit. And I think this is good. I mean, again, this is not perfect yet, but this is a really close prototype. So we're super excited. I think the instruction is going to be the key in terms of making sure that our customers are taken care of and we're doing it right by them. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we have a lot of work to do. It's not quite done yet. We're a little perfectionist, so we're going to make sure it's perfect before we launch it. But that is how you would do it if it was a pre-cut kit. Of course, I want to say you can bulk this. And what I mean by bulk is you can grab just a giant piece, But what you need to do at the end of all of it is you do need to use a knife. And knife for a lot of people is going to be a no-no. I mean, this is sharp. This is stainless steel blade. So I think this is still going to be a huge option for a lot of people. You just don't have the risk of putting a knife on your beautiful car. And you can actually do this and go from silver to black. So if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed our series about installing color PPF on our Model Y so far. We are going to be doing a lot of content around that. So we'll see you later.